All right, so you guys just went through one of the most extensive courses out there on PPC. So I hope you guys were taking notes and are ready to implement those strategies. Now, you had some beginner strategies there, and they also gave you some advanced PPC strategies. But what happens sometimes is that a lot of sellers make rookie mistakes, even veterans. So in this module, I'd like to introduce Lazar from Sellers Alley. He's got one of the agencies that is most known in the industry for helping sellers with their PPC. And here in this module, he's going to give you guys 10 common PPC mistakes. All right. So I want you guys to take note of this, and hopefully you won't make any of these 10 mistakes. Lazar, take it away.
Hello, Freedom Ticket students. My name is Lazar, and I'm the owner of Seller Sally PPC agency dedicated to Amazon PPC. Today, I'll be talking about 10 most common mistakes sellers make while using PPC. So we do a lot of audits for our potential clients, and there is a whole bunch of things that are just repeating from one seller to another. As new features come out on Amazon, we see some differences and some changes over time, but most of the time, some of the things just repeat from time to time. And it's not only for the beginners, but also for advanced sellers. And they're pretty simple to fix and pretty easy to go through and like to improve your overall performance on PPC just by making just small tweaks in your campaigns. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is bad account structuring. When it comes to bad account structuring, people usually add a whole bunch of different keywords in one campaign, a whole bunch of ASINs in one ad group, or a whole bunch of different match types in ad groups. So what usually misses when it comes to the account is brand campaign. Brand campaign is a really good campaign to have in the account, because for that one you use your brand name as an exact keyword, and you would ask, like, why should I do it? Like, it's going to be my brand, and if somebody searches for that specific keyword, I'm going to show up in organic no matter what. But the thing is, like, if others are going to advertise for your brand, they're going to show up instead of you. So you want to protect your brand. And also, when you're a small seller and you just started selling on Amazon, why do you want to have it? You're obviously not going to spend money on those campaigns, but if you have your brand keywords covered in exact form, you're going to be able to see the growth of your brand over time. So if you start selling on Amazon and create those campaigns, over time you'll see the increase in spend and increase in sales. Don't need to worry about the spend and the sales there, because over the time, as the spend grows, your sales are going to grow as well, and all of them are going to be profitable, because you are that brand, and people that are searching for those keywords are searching basically for you, and it's going to be super cheap for you to advertise for them. And if somebody else is going to advertise for them, it's going to affect their CPC, and it's going to be super expensive for them comparing to you. Other thing that is missed in campaign structure is basically top generic terms campaign. That type of campaign is a campaign that has all of the keywords that are highly relevant to the product that you're selling. So not your brand, not other brands, but that specific terminology that is connected to your products. The other campaign is problem solver campaign. Most of the time, when you're not absolutely sure that your product is going to solve somebody's problem. For example, if you're selling markers and they're used for a blackboard or like whiteboard or stuff like that, when you go to your reviews, you can see that people are using it to fix the furniture for scratches and that kind of stuff. So those are pretty specific terms that you can miss over time. So keep in mind to double check those search terms over time and to add them to your specific dedicated campaigns for those search terms, so you can grab some basically more or less free sales using those keywords. One of the most important campaign types that people usually miss is push campaigns. Push campaigns have that name because in those campaigns you have to up to 5 keywords that are all in the exact form and they're the most relevant for your product. And you want to use them to rank yourself better in organic and to improve your ranking. What happened in Amazon in the last couple of months is that PPC can hurt your sales if your CTR and your conversion rate is under niche average. So if you have a campaign that is having like the most relevant keywords, and if you're doing like managed ad sequences, or you're using some search find by sequences or newsletters with those specific strategies using those keywords, and if you're not making above the average CTR or above the average conversion rate, you're probably going to affect your PPC in a negative way, and your organic ranking for those keywords in the organic way. So that's more or less about bad structuring of the account. The other stuff that I wanted to talk about is dynamic bidding. That is gone wild. One of the things that you can do there is basically do bidding by placement. And one of the most important reports that you can do in your Amazon account is bidding by placement report. What you want to do there is basically filter out all of the ASINs, filter out all of the campaigns, check all of the placements, do some pivot tables, and switch places for positions per campaign or the account, and you can see for each position how good you're ranked for. You can check if you're making the most of sales on the top of the Amazon page, or maybe in other placements or on product listing pages. So what people usually do is they set full bid, and on full bid they add 900% increase for bidding by placement, and that's really bad. It means that if you place $1 bid and increase 900% bidding by placement, basically you're bidding for $9, and that can affect your overall spend a lot. So make sure that your bidding by placement is done, and that you're placing certain increase or placing some increase for certain positions and some placements, but never go above 25 or 30% if you're not really sure what you're doing at that point. If you're sure what you're doing, maybe you can choose to target some specific position by basically decreasing initial bid and increasing bidding by placement for above that number that I mentioned, so above 25%. So if you want to target specific position, place initial bid at a lower place and then increase bidding by placement adjustment to 500, 900%, and so on. The other thing that I want to mention is not having ASIN targeting campaigns or having category targeting campaigns without any refining. So what you want to do there is basically do ASIN targeting report and to check for which ASINs are you converting, which ASIN was purchased after somebody clicked on your ASIN, and create specific dedicated campaigns for it. And don't place a huge amount of ASINs in one ad group. What you want to do is to have up to 30 ASINs in one ad group. That's one of the things that you can do. You can create specific ad group inside of that campaign and target ASINs that are showing on the first page. That's important in situations when you have a lot of competitors, when the keywords are too expensive to advertise for. So what you want to do there is basically target those specific ASINs instead of targeting those specific keywords. So that means that you're going to steal your sales from your competitors by targeting their ASINs. When it comes to category targeting, what usually people do is they place full category targeting, and they don't refine it by star rating review. They're not refining it by price range or by brand. What you can do there is basically refine it further and to see which category is working the best for you. So imagine that you're selling a product that costs for, let's say, $200 and in your category, because you're super premium and you're selling it for $200, but somebody else, and like niche average is maybe $20, because like that's the average for the niche, and like most of the products are sold at that price, but they're not as good as your product. So your product is way more better and made of better materials and so on. So don't expect that you're going to make a lot of sales when people are searching for cheap product comparing to your high quality product. What you want to do is basically take the category, refine the rating, refine the pricing, and target that specific price range. The other thing that I want to mention is, like, when you go to the internet, when you go to YouTube or Facebook groups, you're going to see a whole bunch of different strategies that are like the best strategy in the world, that is going to help everybody in the world, and they're going to help all the niches in the world. So that's not going to happen. To be honest, I know it sounds super bad, but it's true. If something is working in a specific niche, let's say your niche, and you have information that something is working pretty well for your competitor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work that well for you, because your competitor maybe have a higher traction. Maybe your competitor is selling way more products than you are. Maybe he has way better reviews or more reviews than you have. So obviously, and also in campaigns, that keyword is having way more history than in your campaign. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that thing is going to work for you. What you want to do basically is to create A/B tests. A/B test all the time, because PPC is all about A/B tests. You want to test a whole bunch of different stuff. You want to test different titles and headlines in headline search ads. You want to test different positioning and targeting specific positions, and to see which one is working the best for you. Depending on how creative you are, is going to result what are going to be the overall results for you. One of the things that I mentioned is targeting ASINs and your competitor ASINs. What people usually forget to do is to target their own ASINs. Why do you want to do that? Well, when it comes to targeting your own ASINs, you want to do that because you want to do cross-targeting. You want to cross-sell, you want to upsell. So imagine that you go to Best Buy or some store like that, and you want to buy a TV. So the seller that is selling a TV to you wants to do upsell. So you tell him, I want 32 inches TV, and he tells you maybe you would like 42 inches, or maybe you would like 4K TV that is way better, and it's only $20 more than this one that you wanted initially. So that's the upsell. That's the thing that the seller is doing to you. Or the other thing that you want to do is basically like, I'm really sure that I want to buy this TV, and the seller is like, okay, this is the TV that you want to buy, but have you considered to buy maybe HDMI cable, or maybe you would like the sound bar? That's the cross sell. That's the thing that you want to do with your products. So if you have a couple of your products, or you have a full range of compatible products, what you want to do is cross-target those products. So you want to do upsell, or you want to do cross-sell. So that's super important to do, because that's the organic way how to show infrequently bought together section on Amazon. And that's one awesome way how to protect your product listing from competing products showing up on your listing. One other thing that I wanted to mention is the match types in your campaigns. People usually create campaigns where they place a whole bunch of keywords inside of those campaigns, and they just leave them that way, and that's it. Why you don't want to do that? You don't want to have all of the match types in the same ad group and in the same campaign, and that's mostly because when you have all of the free match types in the same campaign, when you go to search term report, you're going to see some irrelevant search terms, or maybe some highly relevant search terms, but with not being profitable. So you want to take them out. For irrelevant ones, it's super easy. You just negate them, and that's it. Your campaign is not going to spend any money on those search terms anymore. But when it comes to the relevant ones, maybe you have those keywords in your campaign, and you don't want to trigger any more of those search terms in your campaign. So you add them as a negative, and that way you block your exact search term. So what you want to do, you want to have all of the free match types in separate ad groups, or even better, in separate campaigns, so you can make sure that the budgets for each match type are okay, and that they're working properly. So when you have search term that is highly relevant but not making any money, what you want to do, you negate it there, take it out, and create a separate campaign for highly relevant non-converting keywords, and you place your new keyword there with way lower bid than in the initial campaign. The other thing that I wanted to mention is too many keywords per one ad group. One of the most common things that happen is to have hundreds of keywords in one ad group. What usually happens when you have 5, 6, or 700 keywords in one ad group, you end up with like 10 to 30% of them working, and the rest of them are just staying there. Nothing happens. So there's no traction, nothing, literally no impressions, nothing. So what you want to do, and even though they're relevant, nothing is happening there. So what you want to do is take them out, pause them in current campaigns, create new campaigns, and add up to 30 or 50 keywords per campaign. And you'll see the huge difference that is happening in those campaigns by having those new keywords starting to work and making some progress. One of the new things that is happening in Amazon is sponsored display remarketing campaigns. That's a really cool feature. So when it comes to that, it's basically Amazon tracking your customers, seeing who visited your product listing page, and searching for them off Amazon, and displaying your ads outside of Amazon. So what you want to do there is to create sponsored display remarketing campaigns and do some remarketing on your customers. Unfortunately, you don't have many options how to optimize those campaigns. One of the main ways how to optimize those campaigns is basically do bidding. So make sure when you create those campaigns to have some basic bid, not too high, and to start advertising that way. If you don't see any traction, then increase the bids. If you see really bad ACOS, decrease your bids just a bit, and you're going to hit sweet spot at some point. One other thing that I wanted to mention, it's up and running for maybe a year, maybe a bit more in the past, and it's portfolios. Portfolios are super important for account structure, because in portfolios you can place certain campaigns, you can branch out in different ways. You can literally place one portfolio per ASIN and place a whole bunch of different campaigns in one portfolio. So if you're not really sure how much money you should spend on each ASIN separately, or what's the performance of each ASIN in group of campaigns, this is the way how to fix it. So basically place all of the campaigns that are relevant or grouped in one logical group, to place them together in one portfolio so you can monitor them. Because just like you can place daily budget on the account level, you can do the same thing at portfolio level. So you can block overspending on some certain portfolio. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is neglecting negative keywords. Negative keywords are super important in your account, because by placing negative keywords, you're basically narrowing down the search funnel, and you're not overspending for something that is irrelevant to you. So make sure that you have negative keywords in exact form, especially in phrase and broad match type ad groups. When it comes to exact form ad groups, there is no point in adding negative keywords there, because exact keywords are triggered only by that specific term in search query. So guys, basically that's it for today, and it was a pleasure talking about PPC with you.